videos about CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. I follow the Big Three in CONCACAF all the time. I'm doing live streams for U.S. games, Mexico games, Canada games, all that stuff, and live streams for some CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. This is a long call to action. The point is subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. At the goalkeeper position, I'll be honest, this one is not super good right now. I mean, the fall off of CONCACAF goalkeepers must be studied, but I'm going with Etienne Vyssen from Suriname and Groningen. Groningen are in fourth right now in the Eredivisie, which in itself is a pretty awesome achievement, and he's got one of the better save percentages in the league, on top of having some beast mode performances for Suriname, namely against Panama. I mean, it looked like nothing was going to beat this guy. It took Ismael Diaz scoring with a schlong for Panama to equalize in the 95th minute. So Vyssen, I think he's been a stud for club and country. I would love to see him in European competition. Maybe that'll happen depending on where Groningen finished this season. Honorable mention, I don't know how honorable it is, but I'm going with Andre Blake. I feel like he's been good for Philly this season in the MLS. Has he been great for Jamaica? No, but I'm barely factoring international play into this. This is like 95% club form, just as a reference going forward. The rest of the field is pretty bleak. I'm not saying everybody is terrible, but we're talking about Schulte, Mosquera, Malagon, Sequeira, not a bunch of standouts. Not only a lack of standouts in name, but also lack of standouts in performances. So goalkeeper not great. If I forgot somebody, let me know. At the left back, another diabolical position right now. No Alphonso Davies, no Jedi this season. Mateo Chavez ain't playing over the Netherlands, which means I'm going with Junior Firpo as my left back of the season so far. Hasn't got a ton of minutes at Betis, but when he does play, I think he's looked quite good. We know what to expect from Firpo at this point. Defensively, not great. Makes a couple mistakes. Basically, he's a winger playing as a left back. Very saucy going forward. Very creative player and important player for a Betis side that sometimes lacks that final ball in the opposition half. I do have an honorable mention here, but I'm not sure if there's any true standout left back so far. My honorable mention is Joseph Rosales. He's beast for Honduras, and I think he's been good in the MLS as well. There's probably another name. I know some U.S. fan is watching right now, like, I told you, this guy doesn't know the player pool. Talking about some left back in the Bulgarian division who has 3 man of the match performances in a row. Look, man, I got a full-time job. I'm not into this so deep. So I'm going Junior Firpo as my left back, Joseph Rosales as my backup. My 2 center backs, this is also a weird position this year because Ethan Pinnock is basically dead. Bombito's been injured, and it honestly wasn't even that deep of a position to begin with. But one of my center backs, I think the center back of the season, if I were to go in a back 3 and I could only elect one, it is Chris Richards. I think he's been solid at Dallas this entire season. I think he's in the perfect situation for Chris Richards. Number one, because Oliver Glasner is the manager. That guy is the freaking GOAT. One of the best managers in world football. What a better guy to learn from than Glasner. And also the formation, the fact that Dallas play in the back 3. He's got Daniel Munoz next to him. The best right back in South America. Top 3 right backs in the world, in my opinion. With some stud CBs in LaCroix and Mark Gahey. Like, this is... with a great midfield with Warden Kamada. I mean, it's a great environment for Chris Richards, and I think we're seeing a benefit from that. And I might not rate him as high as other U.S. men's national team fans do, but I recognize he's a very quality player. As my CB2, I am going to go with Johan Vasquez, kind of because I don't have enough data points to suggest my honorable mention has been better than Johan Vasquez. And I've watched 3 Genoa games, RIP to me, drop an L in the chat for wasting, what would that be, 270 minutes of my life watching Patrick Vieira ball down there in Italy. But I think Johan Vasquez has been solid. It just isn't very fun, though, and fun isn't really factored in. I mean, if this was like the most fun 11, that would be a fun video to do, but that's not what I'm doing here today. Look, Vasquez has been good. It's not like I'm dragging him. I'm not dragging him. Just his team is very uninspiring. I think he's doing his thing, though. I really, really want him to leave. I really want to see him go to one of the bigger teams in Italy. I really think he's good enough. But until he does that, he's going to be in a team that's very mid. They look mid, it's not enjoyable, and I don't really know how much higher I can bump him up than what my opinion is already. My honorable mention is Andres Andrade and Ricardo Ade, and I almost went with Ricardo Ade over Johan Vasquez. Some people will be like, who is that? You need to study ball and subscribe, because I talk about Haiti all the time on the channel. I've done live streams for Haiti as well on the channel. Ricardo Ade plays for Liga de Quito, who just spanked Palmeiras in the semifinal of the Libertadores. And this is a guy who's already won a Sudamericana with Liga de Quito. He's won the league as well one of the best center backs in South American domestic football. And South American domestic football is a very good level, so I don't want to hear anybody poo-pooing that and disrespecting him down below in the comments. Yes, hey, you're a bit of a disaster defensively. I don't think that's Ade's fault. I think it's the fact their fullbacks are terrible and they play a high line. That's what I would blame for Haiti, conceding a bunch of goals. So Ade's a beast, and honestly, if you want to put Ade next to Richards, I'm not even mad about it. And Andres Andrade, playing over there in LASK, I do not have the opportunity to watch him. I don't even know where you can find footage of this game. But if you just look at the stats, if I become a football merchant, he's basically the best center back in like 7 different categories in that league. And for Panama recently, I mean, he just looks like the real deal. I mean, he's Panama's best center back. But I'm going to keep it an honorable mention because I don't feel comfortable putting a guy best who I haven't seen with club. I just feel like a fraud at that point. Right back. This one is also interesting because I feel like there are 3 really good options here. Rodrigo Huescas, Serginho Dest, and Joe Scally. I feel like those are the best 3 that we can reference here. I'm going to go with Huescas even though he's injured, but this is team of season as of today. So for all the Americans who are mad again, or the Canadians who want to see Nico Segura here, Huescas isn't going to finish in the team of the season, bro, because my man is probably out for the World Cup. So it's devastating just for me personally. Just let me have this. Just let me have a moment of solace and reconciliation with my guy. Let me acknowledge the fact that he's been a very, very good right back for Copenhagen, 4 assists, leading his position in that statistic in the league. He got an assist in the Champions League as well. Serginho Dest ain't done a damn thing in the Champions League this season. Yeah, I'm going to go with Huescas now. I got Dest second. He will surpass him, of course, if he stays healthy. And then Joe Scally. I need to watch more Mönchengladbach. I actually do have it on my calendar to watch the next game because Mönchengladbach have like Kevin Dix as well. They have a couple of Asian, Jens Kastrop. They have actually quite a few players that I'm interested in. So I'm going to watch them more. I've only seen 1 game this season. I think Scally's good, but not incredible. And so I am going to have Huescas at the right back for now. And again, it won't be the case at the end of the season. This is not a finalized. Someone's going to watch this video in August, and they're going to be like, how did you put Huescas in the team this season? He only played 10 games. And I'm going to be like, it says in the title, like October 2020. Anyways, moving on to the CDM. This is the easiest. Is this the easiest selection? Oh, is this the easiest selection? Hold on here. Down below in the comments, comment time. Is Tyler Adams the most locked-in starter team of the season in CONCACAF this year? I'm going to say yes. I think that he is more locked in here than his teammate, who may or may not feature when we talk about the attack later in this video. First off, Bournemouth are second in the Premier League, so goddamn. Second, Tyler Adams is just so good at what he does that his limitations are an afterthought. Like, nobody cares that he can't really progress the ball that well. Nobody cares that he's not a chance-creating CDM like Roger or something. That's okay. We don't need to drag Tyler Adams because of that. Not that he's a terrible passer. It's just a very limited passing range, typically backwards or sideways. It doesn't matter. He's a bulldog in the midfield. He's so good at what he does. He's so clearly the best CDM in CONCACAF. Nobody else is even close. I don't even hear hipsters in the comments like, what about Rosario from Dominican Republic? Stop it. Stop it. It's not Edson. It's not Rosario. It's not Eustachiao. It's Tyler Adams, period. Listen to shit every damn game. Let me see here. No, I'm going to do honorable mentions just for the midfield later. I'm also going with Tanner Tessman. I think the reason for this is because he's evolved into quite the, how would I say, not playmaking midfielder, but like conductor. No, not conductor. Just a controlling midfielder. I don't think he also has an amazing passing range. He does have a pretty good long ball, but not amazing in the final third. Really good at maintaining possession. He's a possession midfielder. That was the word that my brain could not recall moments ago, but that is really what he has become. And he doesn't have any crazy stats to speak of, but when you watch him, very good at winning the ball back, very good at maintaining possession for Leon. Scored a banger this year, not that that really factors in too much. It's been a very, very good season for Tanner Tessman. And my final midfielder, and this one's a bit of a hotter take, but I am going Kervin Arriaga from Levante in Honduras. The reason for me is impact. I call this man a Slim Reaper for a reason. He is out there slide tackling mofos like a dog. He is so fun to watch. And if you want to look at how Levante have played with and without him, I'm not going to say it's night and day, but it's night and sunrise. How about that? In the 6 games in which Arriaga has not been a starter, Levante have lost 4 times. 4 out of 6 games they've lost. In the 4 games since he has become a starter, they have a single loss. That's impact. That's why he's in my team of the season. And on top of that, he benched the king. And I'm not talking about the King of Spain. I'm not talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about Oriol Rey, who was the captain, I believe, for Levante last year in the Segunda División. And he benched him. So how about that? My honorable mention for the midfield, number 1, Nathan Saliba. This guy is not supposed to be getting this many minutes, y'all. At least I didn't expect that. Like, he's got 7 starts already. Maybe there was an injury in there. I haven't been watching Anderlecht super closely, but because Saliba's there. He's there from Ecuador. There's a lot of players that I care about. He's been very good at he's played. I think if this keeps up, because his minutes have increased as the season has gone along, and this keeps up, does he break into the team of the season? I mean, what an achievement that would be for Nathan Saliba.
I'm in front.
I also want to nominate Ismael Kone, who I think is having a
good... Take a Why?
I'm realizing they're Canadians at both of my honorable mentions here. That was not intentional. Kone, haven't seen Sassuolo outside of 1 game. I thought he was pretty solid. I would like to see a bit more final output. I think that's really the thing that is holding Kone back. He's got absolutely no shot, and his final ball in the opposition box is not very good either. If he just adds even a semblance of something like that to his game, he's going to be a beast, because ball progression is great, winning the ball back, awesome, athletic freak, stamina out the ass, but he's got to get a better final product. That's the one thing for Ismael Kone. Who else are people going to be mad at me for? Malik Tillman. How many freaking games has Malik Tillman played for? Check this out here. He's got 5 games, 2 goals. Nah, absolutely not. Who else are people going to get mad at me for? Maybe Marcel Ruiz, and shout out to him. Y'all know I got nothing but respect for him, but no, he wouldn't be my team of the season so far. Coco Carrasquilla, I think he's doing everything he can for Pumas, but again, not in my team of the season right now. If this was national team only, he's absolutely in the team of the season. Oh, there's probably a big name that I'm forgetting. I'm like desperately racking my brain right now. Oh, Eustaquio, absolutely not. Barely played once again. Who else? Yunus Musa condemned to the bench for all eternity. Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie, team this season. I'm not going to say it's not his fault, but Juve have just been mid. So I'm not going to say that, but maybe with their new manager coming in, maybe he will break into team this season. That Tudor's gone. Next up, we're going to the left wing position, and I'm going with Josimar Alcocer from Westerlo and Costa Rica. 3 goals, 3 assists to start the season. An incredibly important player for Westerlo this year, as well as the Costa Rican national team. I think he's been a beast in both situations, and that really matters to me. Again, international is like 10% of this, and actually was kind of the tiebreaker only at this position for me, because my position was Alexis Vega. Continues to ball out of Liga MX. He's got 13 GA in his last 13 games. It's absolutely filled. And this is another one where if you got Vega in the team this season, I'm cool with it. Or maybe if you want to get creative and move one of the other CONCACAF players who's typically a right winger or a striker out to left wing, fine. But for me, and this isn't even debatable, Alcocer is better than Alexis Vega at the national team level. Maybe Alcocer doesn't have the most eye-popping numbers, but again, football is about more than just numbers on a piece of paper. You actually have to watch the games. This guy's a take-on beast. Absolutely love Alcocer. I mean, Costa Rica, very, very good hands with that. At the striker, Now we got another knock. This happened with the U.S. men's national team. There was a hilarious feud between Milan and U.S. fans about this, because Milan fans were like, he played in a pointless game. It's like, he's captain of the team, and we're about to host World Cup, so not a pointless game. Anyways, I digress. Also, remember this. Remember this whenever people mention friendlies in a future video. They're like, the game doesn't matter. Okay, I'll remember this. I take notes. So I think there is a little bit of an advantage Tajon in the fact that Tajon has more minutes, almost twice as many minutes as Pulisic this season, and he'll, undoubtedly be able to stack more positive performances on top of each other to the point where he probably will overtake Pulisic at some point, but that's only if Pulisic remains injured. I don't know when he's supposed to come back. I think he's missing November, but if he comes back in December and he's getting a goal or assist or both in every single game, he's just, he's going to be the right winger. And there's no disrespect to Tajon, who's having a great comeback season. Like, I think he would be in my nominee, my short list for CONCACAF comeback player of the season. Tajon Buchanan, top 3, without a doubt. So anyways, guys, that is my list. I got Bison, Firpo, Vasquez, Richards, and Huescas in the back. My midfield is Adams, Tessman, and Arriaga. And in the attack, I'm going Alcocer, Haji Wright, and Christian Pulisic. You let me know what you think of that list down below in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, smash the like button. If you want to see more CONCACAF content here on the channel, and I'm not just talking about team of the season, I'm talking about pieces of news about the U.S. men's national team, about Mexico, about Canada, friendly previews, all that good stuff. Make sure you are subscribed. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can join the Patreon, link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. They often say that the best things in life are those worth waiting for, and hopefully that's how you guys feel at the end of this video, which is finally going to be my AFC November 2025 recap. There was a lot of games I had to watch. There was a lot of research I had to do to compile this for you guys. There's a lot of controversial thoughts that I had to ask myself. Do I want to say this and get myself canceled? Yes or no? It was a long process, but I'm ready to break this down here today. I want to say before we get started, I will not be able to talk about everything as in-depth as I would like to in this video. So I decided, rather than make this 2 hours long, I'm going to be dropping separate videos about certain national teams, certain coaches, certain results on the channel. So if you get to the end of this video and you're like, Jack, what the hell? You barely talked about my team. Why have you forsaken me? Please rest assured, a video is on the way. So if you want to see that and other Asian footy videos here on Netball TV, I got to do a AFC team of the season. I got to do a Asian player power ranking update. There's a lot to get through. So again, make sure you subscribe. Please smash the like button. And in the comments, let me know your biggest takeaway from Asia during the November window. We are going to start with the biggest game that happened, Iran versus Uzbekistan. No, I'm kidding. We will talk about that, but that's going to get its own video. Because this Kafa rivalry, it deserves more than a little segment in my recap. So Iranians, Uzbeks, you will have a separate video on the way soon. I promise, okay? We're going to start with round 5, then we'll do the friendlies, then we'll do Asian Cup qualifiers, if you guys want to skip ahead to whatever part interests you most. Iraq 3, UAE 2. Okay. Did Iraq deserve to win? Yes. Was Iraq convincing? Should Iraqis be feeling like they're going to smack whoever they face, either Suriname or Bolivia, in the Intercontinental Playoff? No. Does Iraq look like they've made huge strides under Graham Arnold? No. And, oh gosh, I was going to say this later in the video. I think Jesus Casas could have done the same thing. I know, you dislike the video, say I'm a, I don't know, ball, whatever you want to say. But this was the most Iraqi performance of all time, doing the bare absolute minimum and leaving it until the last second on an Amir Al-Amari penalty kick to advance. I mean, you cannot make this up, people. If you were going to ask me, how is Iraq going to advance? You got to be thinking it's going to be some BS at the end of the game. And that's kind of what it came down to. Now, I will say that Iraq, in my opinion, again, deserve to advance. If I'm looking at big chances created, if I'm looking at good opportunities to score, I would give Iraq between 5 to 6 total across the two legs. I would give the UAE 3 to 4. 4 sounds generous, but 3 to 4. The UAE had more shots. Who cares? Most of them are trash. Okay, in terms of big quality chances, Iraq were the better side. But this was not an Iraqi masterclass. This was not peak Graham Arnold. I think Iraq is a little fortunate here. Let's talk about even the handball from Nader at the end of the game. It is such a lucky handball that the Iraqi players are not even asking for it on the field. And nobody really knew that it happened. I don't even think the fans were whistling about it either. I think everyone was a bit confused when it went to VAR review. Now, was it a handball? Sure, it was a handball. It's incredibly unlucky for the UAE, but it is what it is. Alamari, clutch as hell, steps up, scores, sends Iraq to the Intercontinental Playoff. Congratulations to Iraq. I want to see Iraq succeed, and that's why I am concerned, because I look at this performance and I say, what would you guys rate Iraq across two legs? I'm going to give y'all a 5.5 out of 10. I think it was barely acceptable from Iraq. The first 45 minutes in Abu Dhabi, that's when you guys won the game. Iraq should have been up 3-0 in those first 45 minutes. It should have been done. Khalid Issa had some big saves in that game. The first 65 minutes at home in front of your own fans was diabolical. It was terrible. You almost got own goals. One goal, I believe, gets called off for offsides. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So Graham Arnold, Iraq, please, man, I want to see you guys at the World Cup so badly. I think Iraqi football deserves an opportunity on the world stage. But you have to get better. Every single player, every individual needs to step up. I will give Graham Arnold credit in the sense that he didn't have a lot of time with this Iraqi team. The UAE, band for band, talent for talent is very close, basically equals with the Iraqi national team. I will say that. So I don't think Iraq should have been considered this massive favorite. I think they were considered the massive favorite because of circumstance, Asian Cup heritage, World Cup heritage, population size. I think that's why Iraq would have been considered the favorite in here, even though it was more of like a 50-50 clash in my head. I will give Graham Arnold credit as well for Mohamed Ali's substitution, who he was able to get the first goal. Of course, he was also the guy who was supposed to put it away. He had two amazing chances. Iraq could have won this tie alone 4-2 if Mohamed Ali didn't sky one shot at the box and then he had a fast break. This Iraqi team a lot, but there are some serious warning signs. I'm begging you, take this intercontinental playoff very seriously because there are holes in this team and they need to be fixed. I will move on now to the UAE, I suppose. And I just have to be honest. I want to be transparent. I think
Yo.
It was a lack of justice to sack that man because Paulo Bento was doing everything that the UAE could reasonably expect to have accomplished. I mean, any Emirati fan who thinks that the UAE was going to finish top 2 in the group, above who? Above who, bro? Uzbekistan? Or maybe Iran, the team that smacks you guys up for fun? No, of course, you guys were always going to go through to the next round. And in fact, you overperformed by finishing third. Then you bring in Kosmin, and everyone's like, oh, he knows the league. I think it's a good appointment. By knows the league, what you're really saying is he's going to play all foreigners. What you're really saying is he knows exactly what Brazilians, Argentines, and Spaniards to call up to the Emirati national team, which is a stain on the game. And those are strong words. I don't care. You guys got what you deserve. I believe justice was served by the UAE being eliminated. You tried to cheat the effing game and it bit you in the ass. And I'm happy for that. Because if this had succeeded, if the UAE had gone to the World Cup, naturalization, which is already taking hold in the Middle East and already taking hold in other countries, oh, it's gone. It's to the moon. We're never going to have teams that are actually being, played and represented by local citizens. It's gone. What was it, 8 or 9 foreigners in the starting 11 against Iraq in the second leg? Shame on you, Kosmin. Shame on you. That is disgusting. Paulo Bento was doing just as well as you. Yes, the Asian Cup wasn't good. He lost on penalties. He was doing just as well as you with his UAE team. And at least he was playing 6 or 7 Emirati players in the starting 11 every single game. Then you come in here and you just play the South American C team. And what? You want people to support you? Guys, this is what I don't understand about you people. What do you want? You want people to look at this Emirati team and say, oh, underdog story. Oh, this is a beautiful tale. Oh my gosh, I really hope these guys make it. Why? Nobody cares that these Brazilian scrubs are going to be representing an Asian team at the World Cup. No one gives a shit. You don't deserve any sympathy. If you had done it the right way with your local players, I don't even think Karim Abdullah saw the field in the second leg. Embarrassing. Then I would be sympathetic. I would feel bad for you. But you have gotten exactly what you asked for. You stacked the coach unjustly, and you threw all your local players, your citizens, to the freaking curb so that you could play some South Americans, some Argentines. Absolutely pathetic. I'm so glad that you guys are eliminated, and I'm going to move on. Whew, let me calm down there. Okay, let's get to the friendlies now. Japan, I'll talk about them in Korea first. Look, Japan, they beat Ghana 2-0, Bolivia 3-0. They did exactly what they need to do. With all due respect to Bolivians watching, Ghanaians watching, Japanese watching, this is not a huge achievement for Japan. We don't need to talk about this a lot. You did exactly what you needed to do. Japan is a team that I still believe should be aiming for a quarterfinal or semifinal at the next World Cup. Ghana is beneath you. Bolivia is beneath you. Congratulations, 5 goals scored, 5 different goal scorers. We continue to see the depth of this team. We continue to see how widespread the talent is. But respectfully, once again, you cannot say this I have about this team. A lot of people talked a lot about the Brazil victory. You didn't beat the Brazil that I wanted you to beat. You didn't even beat the Ghana that I would want you to beat. You still beat them, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be a dick. But let's take this into context. I don't know who Japan is scheduled to play next. I believe it's a European team. I want a victory in that, and I'm fully back on board, man. It's not like I've sold all my Japan stock. I just sold about 20% of it. Most of it coming down to Moriyasu, the manager. I've never doubted the talent available in Japan. I do doubt the guy in charge. So these wins, they're nice. You take some mini positives. Honestly, comment down below, any Japanese fans, were there even any negatives here? I had 0 negative bullet points. I mean, maybe you could say, oh, it should have been more against Ghana. Well, I don't know. Ghana are good defensively. I think you saw Korea really struggled to create against them too. I think it was a good, solid win from Japan. We can move on. South Korea also got the 2 wins here against Ghana and Bolivia. But I think the vibe is a bit more negative, as the vibe tends to be more negative for our Korean brothers across the pond. There are serious doubts about this team, and they have continued. I think more Korean citizens have more doubts than I do, but I think they should still be addressed, and I have several talking points in this video. Number 1, this is an interesting situation from Hung Won-bo, who had a quote after the game. I believe it was the Ghana game. He said, I think we had some problems with our play in the midfield. We made some adjustments for the second half, and our substitutes performed better. Basically, I think it's really important for midfielders to be skilled on both offense and defense. We had some problems this window, but I think we can solve some of them once injured players return. So it sounds like he's saying two things in that. Number one, he's saying that without Hwang this midfield is not good, which is correct. Hwang is one of the best midfielders in Asia. He is absolutely correct. He's a top two. If he's not one, he's two in the continent of Asia. Underrated footballer. So he's correct about that. It also sounds like he's saying Jens Kastrop by himself isn't good enough. Or maybe he was displeased with Kastrop's performance, which I can understand. I think this was a weird thing to say. And granted, I don't speak Korean. This is a translation that was provided by my guys over at Ballers. So go check them out. Really good stuff. They have their own match reactions, which I can react to a little bit myself in this video. I think it's not fair to judge Kastrop when he's not playing next to Hwang because who else is he supposed to play next to and look good, really? I don't understand that. I also found it very ironic that he said we need midfielders to be skilled on offense and defense, but Park Young-woo was his guy in the beginning, who is one of the worst midfielders in all of Asia. He's a CDM who can't defend or pass. So I don't know, a little bit of bias here, a little bit of a dumb moment here from Hung Limbo, I think. I referenced the Beaming Ballers channel, and you guys should check it out. I was watching their match reaction after Korea beat Ghana 1-0, and one of the co-hosts was talking about how Japan just looked better than Korea did against Ghana. More triangles, players crashing the box, and I hear this stuff and I understand the frustration, but every time I'm just thinking, well, Japan's better than you. Japan has better players than you. You can't expect Korea and Japan to play the exact same way. Even Otto Addo, the Ghanaian manager, was like, Korea's not on Japan's level. That's not an insult. He's correct. And I think people need to accept this reality a little bit more and not just take it out on Hung Mumbo every single time. I promise you, if Hong had the same options on the bench as Moriyasu, y'all would be playing better. I promise. There are some things that he gets blamed for that I think are unfair. He does make mistakes. I would give his tenure a 7 out of 10 so far. I don't think it's been that bad. But it's not his fault that Hwang Hee-chan has fallen off a cliff and can barely play football. It's not his fault that Sung Hyun-min is old now and can't play a full 90 minutes, not in back-to-back games. It's not his fault that Kim Min-jae is injured every window. It's not his fault that Hwang In-beom hasn't been available 3 of the last 4. Like, he is trying to make the most of the tools that he has in the shed. He hasn't done a phenomenal job, but I think he gets dragged too much. What I will say as a positive for South Korea at the World Cup, as long as you guys have Sung Hyun-min and Lee Gang-in, I think you will be in games because the set-piece lethality of this team is very, very high. Sung Hyun-min, he's becoming a free kick god. It's beautiful. Love to see it. Lee Gang-in, look at the goal against Ghana. If you have a player that can put in a cross like that, you're going to stay alive in games. How many times at the World Cup is a game a stalemate, 0-0, and then somebody scores a free kick? Or I'm thinking of like Toni Kroos, Germany against Sweden. Like, if you have a player that can do that, you're in good hands. I'm not guaranteeing success, but a lot of teams would murder to have those two players in their pool. And unfortunately for Korea, it's going to have to be star power or bust yet again at the World Cup, I think. Moving on to Jordan. They had a 3-2 loss to Tunisia and a 0-0 draw against Mali. I honestly would love to hear from what Jordanians think down below in the comments. I don't think the 3-2 loss to Tunisia was that bad a result because the game was in Tunisia, which I was not aware of when I did my prediction. And Jordan went down to a red card. Before the red card, they were actually up 2-1, and I think there's plenty of positives here. One thing I loved, though, was when I was watching the highlight video, all of the comments, it was the most positive thing I've ever seen. It was just Jordanians and Tunisians thanking each other for the opportunity to play, and then there was like 3 Moroccans in there as well, who were like, I love to see, my Jordanian and Tunisian brothers playing football together. I was like, wow, this is not a cesspool at all. I should hang out here more often. The positives for Jordan in this window, Yazan Al-Naimat might be back. The first goal against Tunisia. Is there another striker in Asia who can do that? The answer is no. It is a juggling scissor kick in the box. It's peak Yazan. I freaking love it. I'm so happy to see him. He also got the assist. He had a nasty drag back, put the ball across the top of the box, and a Jordanian player finishes it off. That alone makes this window, at worst, like a net neutral. And despite the results, despite not having a win, because if Jordan don't have Yazan at full strength, y'all are not doing anything at the World Cup, respectfully. If you want to make another dark horse run, if you want to make the knockouts, you need Asian Cup Yazan. And that against Tunisia looked like Asian Cup Yazan. The negatives, I would say, is it's a lot of goals being conceded now by Jordan against the two most relevant teams they played recently in Tunisia and Albania. And I think that defending from crossing still sucks. Tunisia got the equalizer from a cross in this game. Still sucks. You cannot be giving up cheap goals like that at the World Cup or you're going to get destroyed. I mean, if Jordan pulls like a Norway or something, and there's no way that they can keep a clean sheet because there's no way that they can defend crosses. And I don't know how much can be done coaching wise. It might just be a limitation with the player personnel. This is now 0 wins in 4 for Jordan. No wins since the Dominican Republic 3-0 win at home. Jordanians, are you guys panicking? Are you guys panicking? Me, I'm not yet. I think the circumstance has been okay for Jordan. I think we're seeing the attack still score a lot of goals. 2 goals against Albania, 2 goals against Tunisia. They probably should have had one against Mali as well. The defense has issues, though. I think the Albania game, sure, there were some missions, whatever. We can excuse that. The Russia game, he did keep a clean sheet in that, but I think Russia just played like crap against Peru and Chile, so that result is looking less impressive by the day. I'm not panicking yet, but I need a win in the next game. I don't know who the opponent is, but I need a win. Australia, you want to talk about teams that are maybe panicking? You can look at this 2 ways. And Aussies, let me know down below in the comments. You can say guys were missing and the squad was rotated, and therefore who cares? Or you can say, holy hell, that window sucked. 1-0 defeat to Venezuela, 3-0 defeat to Colombia, 2 defeats against South American teams. Fun fact, story time. I had free box seats to the Venezuela-Australia game in Houston, and my dad got me. How he got this, I don't know. There was nobody in the stands, so there was probably a dude on the street, like, handing them out, like candy. That's probably how my dad got it. Unfortunately, I was in New York at the time, so I couldn't go, and I was really bummed about it, but I still sat down and watched the game. And let me say, thank God I did not go, because that Australian performance was absolute shit. And if I was in the box seats, the camera would have panned up to me, and you would have seen me hurling, like, my martini glass like onto the pitch. I mean, and then security would have been dragging me back, and I'm like screaming like I'm Sirius Black in the Ministry of Magic mugshot. Like, it was a pathetic showing from Australia. I know that there was some rotation. Who's my brother in goal? Beach, I think was his name for Australia. Tony Popovich. Talk to me, man. What the hell are you doing? Why in God's name are you experimenting with another goalkeeper? You already have 3 guys, Paul Izzo, Gauchi, and Matt Ryan. Why are you experimenting with another 22-year-old from Melbourne City? I get it, it's cool, give the A-League guys a chance. There were several A-League players, I believe in both starting 11th, but definitely in the Venezuela game. The World Cup is 6 months away, dog. You don't know who your starting goalkeeper is. I mean, my lord, there's a time and place for everything, and this was not the time. So shit performance against Venezuela, it was terrible. Against Colombia, oh my gosh. I mean, offensively, completely dead. Colombia deserved to win. I will congratulate Australia for holding on until so late in the game, but Luis Diaz should have scored before then. I was happy to see Jackson Irvine back in the team. In the starting 11, that's my freaking guy. There still are a lot of omissions. The back line is makeshift. So this is what I asked in my preview. I said, okay, we're going to test the theory. Is it really just Australian DNA that can dig deep and get results, or do they actually need their best player, Shakati, Boss, Sutar, in the back line to get results? And I think based on this window, I think I feel more strongly that the players need to be there. The 18 guys need to be there, especially against the best teams in the world. Australians, I don't think you should feel horrendous about the Colombia result, because I believe Colombia is a semifinalist of the next World Cup. I believe they're a top 5 team in the world. You guys got beat, and you got beat down by them. It's okay. It happens to a lot of teams. You are missing guys, but you cannot allow this to happen again leading up to the World Cup. Fun fact, this was the first time Australia have allowed 3 goals since France at the 2022 World Cup. And this is only the 2nd time that Australia has conceded 3 goals or more this decade. And it's almost 2026. So that is a great achievement. Defensively, congratulations to Australia. But please don't let that happen again. I don't want a 2014 World Cup where y'all concede 3 in every single game, okay? That's really not what I want. I do want Australia to be successful. And I still got you as a dark horse. I'm not selling my stock. But please, make this easier for me, okay? If I'm going to spread Australian propaganda, you can't be putting up offensive stats like 0 shots on target against Colombia and I don't know, 1 chance created against Venezuela. Moving on to rapid fire, a couple teams here. Oman beat Sudan 2-0. And then lost to Ivory Coast. As far as I'm concerned, who cares? You split the series with CAF opposition, 2 pretty solid CAF teams, including the African champions. Congratulations to Oman. Maybe Carlos Queiroz is cooking. Oh, God, they're going to be scary at the 2027 Asian Cup. I'm telling you right now. Saudi Arabia, really good win on paper against Ivory Coast. If you watch the goal, it is not a chance created from the Saudis. They really didn't create much in this game at all. It was just a back pass that goes completely awry, and Al-Shamat jumps on it and scores. I do want to say that introducing Salah Al-Shamat to the team is probably Hervé Renard's greatest contribution to Saudi football in his second tenure, because he did look good against Ivory Coast. I wasn't able to watch the Algeria game. They lost 2-0. They held on until, 86th minute or something like that. Algeria are AFCON favorites. It happens. They're better than Saudi Arabia. It happens. Again, you split the series with 2 AFCON favorites. Oman played 2 good African teams. You played 2 AFCON favorites. I know.
I let you play in the weekend, okay?
Sudan or not
Right now I'm playing my homie.
AFCON favorite, okay?
Don't make no noise right now at 3:30 because I'm gonna be on the call with a job. 3:30 to 4. All right.
For both of these teams. Next up, we have Kuwait, who had a 4-3 comeback victory against Tanzania. They were down 2-1. My guy Mohamed Daham, 2 goals and an alleged assist that I could not verify on any website. Very nice win for them, followed by a 2-2 draw against Gambia, where they were also down 2-0. Then they came back to equalize. Yusuf Nasser got a goal in this game off a penalty, and he got a goal against Tanzania as well. What are the expectations for Kuwait at the Asian Cup? For me, I'm thinking 3 points minimum in the group stage, man. These guys, they got some ballers. If they don't win a game, I'm going to be pissed off, because they should. They might even make the knockouts depending on what the group looks like. Of course, I will be doing an Asian Cup draw in the future. Hit subscribe. Bahrain lost to Somalia. God help them. The fall continues. 7 losses in a row now. 1 goal scored in those 7 games, and that was during this 2-1 loss to Somalia. So RIP to Bahrain. They're completely finished. Qatar played Zimbabwe and lost, but Afif was not there. Therefore, the result is invalid, in my opinion, because I do not believe Qatar exists without Akram Afif. Let's go on now to the Asian Cup qualifiers. Congratulations to the 2 teams that have qualified now. Syria, who were simply too big, too strong, too thuggish for everybody in their group, absolutely murdered everyone. 16 goals scored, 1 allowed in the 5 games. I think they just beat Pakistan 5-0 away in the last game. They're going to be a problem at the Asian Cup. Trust me when I say that. They're going to be a problem. And congratulations